Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Narahitava Narottamam Devi Saraswasam Pito Yaudhirait Nasta Parishu Badresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Utamastoke Bhakti Bhagavati Naistiki. Before reciting the SRIMAD Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should first offer his respectful obeisance to the Pastor Goddess Sri Narayan, and to Sri Narayana, receives famous human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Sri Vyasdev, the author. By daily attendance to the SRIMAD Bhagavatam and rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So reading from the SRIMAD Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, text number 33. Canto 2, text 1, text 33. Okay. So you can see the text in the blackboard, in the screen there. So repeat after me. Nadio swam nadio tam tanura hani mai ruha bisvatanu ripandra ananta priyasva sitam matarisva gatim vaya karma guna prabhiha. Nantyo swam nadyota tanu ruhani mahi ruha visvatanu ripandra ananta britya sitam matripsvaya gatim vaya karma guna prabhaha. Nandyo swam nandyo tam tanu ruhani mai rau visvatanu prapendra ananta braya svasitam matarisva gatim vaya karma guna prabhaha. Can anyone read? Can anyone recite Sanskrit?
Nadyasya nadyata tanuruhani mahiruha vishwatanonirpendra ananta viryaha shwasitam matariswa gatirvayaha karma guna prabhaha.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any Mataji can read? Any Mataji can read? If there is no any Mataji, so we go to word translations. Synonyms. Nadia, the rivers. Atia, of him. Nadia, veins. Ada, and thereafter. Chanuruhani, hairs on the body. Mahiruha, the plants and trees. Visvatano, of the universal form. Gripa Indra, O King. Agnanta Viraya, of the omnipotent. Swasitam, breathing. Matarisbaha, air. Gatin, movement. Vaya, passing ages. Karma, activities. Guna pravaha, reactions of the modes of nature. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O King, the rivers are the veins of the gigantic body. The trees are the hair of its omnipotent air in its breath. The passing ages are its movement, and its activities are the three modes of material nature. Purport. The personality of Godhead is not a dead stone, nor is he inactive, as is poorly taught by some schools. He moves with the progress of time, and therefore he knows all about the past and future, along with his present activities. There is nothing unknown to him. The conditioned souls are driven by the reactions of the modes of material nature, which are activities of the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:12, the modes of nature act under the direction only, and as no natural functions are blind or automatic. The power behind the activities is the supervision of the Lord, and thus the Lord is never inactive, as is wrongly conceived. The Vedas says that the Supreme Lord has nothing to do personally, as is always the case with superiors, but everything is done by his direction. As it is stated, not a blade of grass moves without his sanction. In this Brahma Samhita 5:48, it is said that all the universes and the heads of them, the Brahmas, exist only for the duration of his breathing period. The same is confirmed here. The air on which the universes and the planets within the universes exist is nothing but a bit of the breath of the unchangeable Virat Purusa. So even by studying the rivers, trees, air, and passing ages, one can conceive of the personality of Godhead without being misled by the formless conception of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 12:5, it is stated that those who are much inclined to the formless conception of the Supreme Truth are more troubled than those who can intelligently conceive of the personal form. Om Agyana Trimedasya Gyana Gyana Salakaya Takshur Umiltam Yena Tasmaesi Garabe Namaha Sri Taya Manovistam Stabitam Yena Bhutale Swaya Rupa Kadamaya Dadanti Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pati Gopisa Gopi Kantara Dakantana Sute Tata Kantana Gorangi Radhi Visabanuswari Visabanusuti Devi Pranami Hari Priye Ancha Kalpataru Visa Kripa Sindhu Daivacha Patsana Pavanabhyo Vaisnavyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Teta Swami Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Statmani Sri Gora Karuna Sakti Bhakti Teta Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gurabani Pratarini Nirvese Sasunyabadi Prasatarini Jai Sri Krishna Tetaya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivas Hare Guru Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nadio Swam Nadio Tanura Ruhanai Mairwa Bisba Tanu Niprandra Ananta Braya Swasitam Mantas Sviva Gatin Vayam Karma Guna Prabhai. Translation. O King, the rivers and are the veins of the gigantic body, the trees and the hair of his body, and the omnipotent air is his breath. The passing ages and his movements and his activities are the reactions of the three modes of material nature. That is 33. I'll read the previous text. The previous text says, 32 says, modesty is the upper portion of his lips. Hankering is his chin. Religion is his heart of the Lord. And irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generates all living beings, is his material world. In the material world is his genitals. And the Mitra Varunas are his two testicles. The ocean is his waist, and the hills and mountains are the stock of his bones. Hare Krishna. So you are all welcome to today's SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class. We are reading from Canto 2, chapter 1, text number 33, entitled The First Step in Spiritual Life. So before I proceed in the class, I would like to beg the blessings of all senior devotees present by saying this prayer for all of you. Like my senior most devotee, Banachara, Simad, Varaha, thank you for coming to this class. I will greet all of you by saying this prayer. Nana Sastra Vicharanaka Nipono Sad Dharma Samstapako Lokanaita Karuna Tribhuvani Manya Saranakaro Radha Krishna Parana Vrinda Bhajana Nandi Namataliko Bande Rupa Sanatana Ragutu Sri Jiva Gopalako Bande Rupa Sanatana Ragutu Sri Jiva Gopalako Bande Rupa Sanatana Ragutu Sri Jiva Gopalako. All of you represent all the 6 Goswamis. You are trying to behave, to act in the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan by always hearing the transcendental activities of Lord Krishna. So you are all welcome to this class. So today's class is a very important class because it explains about the form of the Supreme Person of Godhead. In the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM also described the body of the Lord in the same way that the Lord is a living person. He performs activities. And according to the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, the first and second cantos, they describe the lotus feet of the Lord. The third canto describes the thighs of the Lord. The fourth and fifth canto describes the abdomen of the Lord. The fifth and sixth canto, the sixth canto and seventh canto describes the chest. And the eighth canto describes the limbs. And the ninth canto describes the neck of the Lord. The 10th canto describes the face of the Lord. The 11th canto describes the forehead of the Lord. And the 12th canto describes the head of the Lord. So these are the same descriptions we heard from the SRIMAD, from the Bhakti Rupa, that Krishna, he performs activities. So here we are told that the Lord knows past, present, and future, same as we do. The Bhagavad Gita says 15:7. Mama ivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasa chanendrani prakritista nikashanti. Mama ivam so jiva loke. The living entities are my eternal fragmental part and parcel, but because of conditional life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. We are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, but the Lord's form is gigantic, and we are very minute, infinitesimal sparks of the Lord. So we have qualitatively, we have the quality of the Lord, but quantitatively, the Lord's activities are innumerous. Like when Lord Krishna was in Vrindavan, Lord Krishna performed pastimes in Vrindavan, 3 types of pastimes. In his Kumara age, when he was in Vrindavan, he performed his childhood pastimes. These are the activities of the Lord. The Lord has activities. After his Vrindavan pastimes, he went to Mathura and performed activities in Mathura. After Mathura, he went to Dwaraka. He performed activities. So the Lord is here. It is said that the Lord is not a stone that is inactive, as we hear from other philosophers. They said the Lord does not do anything. The Lord performs activities, just like we perform activities. We have 5 things in the material world that are permanent. 1, Atma. The soul is permanent. The soul doesn't die. The soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. It's active. 2, Param Atma. Krishna in the super soul is everlasting. It is in us. 3, Prakriti. Nature is always there. 4, Kala, time. And 5, Karma, activities. So we all do these things. These things are going on. We perform activities. Krishna also performed activities. When Krishna was in Vrindavan, he killed many demons. Can anyone tell me the first demon Krishna killed? Can anyone tell me the first demon Krishna killed? Can anyone tell me the first demon Krishna killed in Vrindavan?
Putana.
Putana, thank you very much. And what Putana represents something in our lives. False guru. Putana represents false guru. We should look for a bona fide guru. We should not look for a false guru. So Krishna first killed the false guru. Today, people are coming, many people in India, they are trying to become gurus, but they don't know the scriptures. They don't follow the scriptures. So we should not follow false guru. We follow gurus from the Paramparam system. So here in this text, 3 things are mentioned that Krishna, that we can learn example from. Here they said, the trees are the hair of Lord Krishna. The rivers are his veins, and the air is breathing. So when we are doing Bhaktivedanta in Canto 11, there is a narration when Krishna was speaking to Uddhava. Uddhava saw a Brahmana who was an Avaduta. This Brahmana was so renounced that he doesn't care for anything on earth. He was moving around like somebody who is not having life. So King Yadu approached this Brahmana and asked him, my dear Brahmana, everybody on earth, everybody is interested in power, fame, wealth, all this activity, but we are not interested. Why? So this Avaduta Brahmana answered the question of Yadu Maharaj. He said, Yadu Maharaj, after studying the whole universe, I have learned my lesson. He said, I met 24 gurus. 24 gurus I met. And these 24 gurus, I learned a lot from them. So after learning everything from them, I decided to renounce everything on earth. And one of the gurus is the trees. The trees. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Sastakam, Truna api sunechana taro api saisina amandina mandina ketanya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself rather than destroying the streets. And one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige and superiority of all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the name of the Lord constantly. So the trees, when Balaram and Krishna entered the forest of Vrindavan, they saw the trees, they are bowed down. And Lord Krishna told Balaram, see, these trees are bowed down to you. These trees are selfless. They stand for the benefit of others. These trees, they produce fruits for mankind. They produce shade. They produce medicine. They produce everything, not for themselves, but for others. This is a lesson we should learn from the trees. The trees are there for others. They render service to others, not for themselves. They are not selfish. They are selfless. We should learn this quality from the trees. They are selfless. That's why there are many activities in Krishna consciousness we do to help others. One is food for life. Two is Harinam, Sankirtan, preaching on platform like this. These are activities we do to help others. The trees, they help. There's nothing in the tree that is useless. The tree, we use the tree to make papers, to make books. We use the trees to make bed, to make blackboard, to make everything, anything we see. Chairs from trees. The leaves are used for medicine. The trees give flower, we make garland for the Lord. The trees provide fruits, we eat. So the trees are selfless, but they don't complain. They are under the shade, under the sun, under the rain, under the snow, under the cold, but they endure, they tolerate because they want to help other living entities. This is how we should be. This is how a devotee should be, like the tree. We try to help others by giving them this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. We hear about another quality, the water. The water. It is said here that a saintly person is just like water, pure and gentle. A flowing stream makes a pleasing sound. Rivers, lakes, and oceans are all very pleasing to see. Similarly, a pure devotee is most pleasing to see. His talks are very attractive, and his association is purifying. Yes. Just by seeing a devotee, everybody become happy because devotee is carrying love. A devotee should speak pleasing words, language. And what are pleasing language? A language that glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Language that gives joy to the soul. Language that glorifies devotees of the Lord. We should always glorify the devotees of the Lord. We give them praises because they are carrying the Lord in their hearts. The river, the ocean, the seas, they are very pleasing to see. When anybody sees a devotee is different from ordinary people because they are pure in heart. They have purity in them. Why are they pure? Because they follow the 4 regulatory principles. In the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, in the Bhagavad Gita 16:23 says, Yas Sastra Vidim Utrisya, Vantante Karma Karata, Nasas Dimabapnoti, Nasukam, Naparam Gatim. Yas Sastra Vidim Utrisya, Vantante Karma Karata, Nasas Dimabapnoti, Nasukam, Naparam Gatim. Only devotees happy because they follow the principles of nature. Others, nobody. Once you are not following the scriptural injunctions, you will never be happy. Never. And anything you do, there is no perfection. And at the end, you will not get liberation. You will never go back to Godhead. That's why devotees will go out and distribute these books to people. Prabhupada have written all these things in the books so that people can read these things and they come to temple and take part in this movement and they become happy. Prabhupada was asked, what's one of your miracles in America? He said these people were hippies, but today they are happies. Devotees, some of us, we are like hippies. But when we come to Krishna consciousness, today we are happy. We dance on Harinam, we dance in Sankirtan. Outside there, it's difficult for somebody to dance ordinarily, never. Unless somebody's being influenced by alcohol or drugs. Otherwise, nobody dances outside there ordinarily. Just last week, we went on a funeral. One of our devotees passed away. We went to the funeral. And the kirtan was so wonderful. We induced all the funeral people to dance. But after the kirtan, some of them were trying to dance ordinary music, but they have to take alcohol. Otherwise, they cannot dance. But we devotees, we dance ordinarily because why? The holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is translated as sound vibration. It makes the soul happy. It's the food for the soul. So devotees are happy because they follow the principles of religion. So they are happy and they chant the holy names of the Lord. Another example given was the air. Listen. The air teaches us how to live in the world without attachment and thus avoid material entanglement. The wind blows over a fragrant garden, and then it blows over a pile of decomposed garbage. The breeze sometimes carries droplets of water to refresh those who are suffering from excessive heat. Then again, the breeze fuels a great fire that destroys an entire forest. Yet, the wind always remains unchanged and unaffected by the object of its contact. In the same way, a devotee's mind should remain fixed upon the Lord and should not become disturbed by the auspicious and inauspicious situations one inevitably contact. A devotee knows very well that he is not the material body and that he should not be disturbed by the dualities of material existence. These are the qualities of devotees. The air, sometimes sometimes the air brings bad smell, like garbage. And sometimes the air brings nice smell from flowers, but the air is not affected. Sometimes the air induces big fire to burn even a house. And sometimes we use the fire to cook our food. So a devotee should not be disturbed by any condition of life. A devotee, it is said in Bhagavatam that a devotee, even if he goes to hell, is happy once he have the opportunity to have the association of Krishna. He can think of Krishna in any condition. A devotee is always happy. A few days ago, I listened to a lecture from one of the sannyasis in Bhaktivedanta Mano, Swayam Bhagavan Maharaj. He was saying, he said one day, after the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Yudhishthira was enthroned as the king, as the emperor of the universe. And so he was in his palace, and Bhimasena was at the gate. So an unknown man came. He wanted to go see Maharaj Yudhishthira. He wanted to ask him 4 questions. 4. So the man came by the gate. He said, I want to go see Maharaj Yudhishthira. And Bhimasena said, for what? He said, I have 4 questions I want to ask Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then Bhima said, why don't you ask me those questions? The man said, can you give me the answers? Bhima said, why not? So the man said, okay. Say the first question. He said, there was a farm, and this farm has a fence. And this fence was coming closer, consuming all the plants. What is the cause of that? And Bhimasena said, I don't know. So I say, ask me the other question. The man said, a woman was carrying a full pot of water, full to the brim, nothing dropped. And now he emptied this water in 8 containers, in 8 pots. After putting the water in 8 pots, now he brings back the water in the jug where the original jug, the original pot. When he poured all the 8 pots of water in the original pot, the water was half. It was not full. What is the cause of that? Bhima said, I don't know. Then he said, ask another question. He said the third question. He said, I saw a man passing an elephant through the eye of a needle. He said the whole body of the elephant passed, but the tail didn't pass. The tail was stuck. Why? Can you answer this question? Bhima said, I don't know. Then he said, ask another question. The fourth question, he said, there was a big rock and people were trying to push this rock. Nobody can push the rock, very heavy. He said a saintly man came just by the thread of his chadar. He was able to drag this stone. A saintly man, a devotee, came just by the thread of his chadar. He pulled the stone, the heavy stone that people cannot push. So what is the cause? And Bhima said, I don't know. Then Bhima said, okay, go meet Yudhishthira. So the man went to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He said, oh king, he paid obeisances. He offered his homage to the king. He praised the king for being victorious in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And now he's governing the whole society in a religious way. He thanked me very much. Now he said, Maharaj, I have a question for you. Yudhishthira said, what? He said, Maharaj, I'm puzzled. As I was coming, I saw a farm having a fence, and this fence was coming closer and consuming the plants. What is the cause of this? And this Maharaj laughed. He said, yes, this is the qualities, the symptoms of Kali Yuga. This is the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Those who are empowered to guide, to protect the citizens, these are the people that are harassing. These are the people that are consuming citizens, like the police, the army, the other things. In other countries, these are the people that are armed robbers, the police. At night, they have guns, they arm people, they rob people with their arms. They're supposed to protect the people in Kali Yuga, but in Kali Yuga, these Kshatriyas, they are plundering the citizens. He said these are one of the symptoms in Kali Yuga. Then he said the second question. Your second question, he said, I saw a woman carrying a pot of water, but when he emptied the water in 8 jugs, when he returned it back to the original jug, the water is not filled, it's half. Why? The Yudhishthira Maharaj said, yes, in Kali Yuga, there is no love. There is no love. Everything is lost. The people you will do good in Kali Yuga, these are not the people that will return goodness to you. Never. They will either try to kill you or even try to blaspheme you. The people you have done good, they will never return goodness to you. Never in Kali Yuga. This is the symptoms in Kali Yuga. So he said 3. He said, I saw an elephant. A man was studying an elephant. He said the whole body passed through. The whole body passed through, but the tail didn't pass through. Why? He said, yes, in Kali Yuga, the ministers, the big bank managers, in their offices, they are doing the big stealing. They steal, they plunder the whole country. I'm in Ghana here. They are repairing Sawam Road. Since I came to Ghana more than 20 years, they are still repairing in Sawam Road. They will never finish that road. Because the ministers, before they send the cement or stones or brick, all of them, they have built houses with all these cement and stones and iron rods. And they remain small for the government. Till today, the roads are being repaired. Never, they will never. All the ministers, all the secretaries, they steal all the properties. Any small man who steal a goat or just small money, small cedis or small pounds or small dollar, you are the person that will they are taken to court and you go to jail. And the big thieves, they are free. Yes, these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. The big thieves in the offices, they are stealing all the money of the country. And the small thief who just steals small, they'll take him to court and they jail him. That is a symptom. And he said 4, the Brahmana who came with his chadar and dragged the stone is described here. Kalo dosa nindra rajan asti he eka maho gunai ketania eva krishnaya mukta sangha param virjat. Yes, he said, my dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about Kali Yuga. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one becomes free from material bondage and is promoted to the transcendental kingdom. The saintly man came with the Maha Mantra. The Maha Mantra is like the thread that pulled the rock. So in Kali Yuga, the medicine for Kali Yuga is the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare. So he said, the saintly man, he came with the Maha Mantra and pulled this rock, and everybody was surprised. So this is our duty. We are all saintly people. Our duty is to distribute this Maha Mantra, and this Maha Mantra is written in Prabhupada's books. Any page of Prabhupada's book to see the Maha Mantra. I listened to one song. The song says, "Rise, O fallen fighters, rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away, lives to fight another day." All of you, some of you, we are distributing books before. Today you are relaxed. Why? Kavi Kanapura, Sahadev, Tita Prema, Hari Chakra, you are wonderful book distributors. Today you fall down. Why? It's rise. Rise. You are saving. If you rise, you will save the whole world. You will save the whole African continent. This is why Prabhupada succeeded in his mission. His Guru Maharaj told him, the first day he approached his Guru Maharaj, the Guru Maharaj just looked at him and said, you know English. Go to the Western country and print this message. If you ever have money, print books. More than 10 years, this has been ringing on Prabhupada's head, ringing. Prabhupada was trying to do business. His business was failing from day to day. And one day, his wife bartered his book, Bhagavatam, for tea. And Prabhupada said, from today, Bhagavatam, tea or me, who do you want? The wife was thinking Prabhupada is joking. He said, I want tea. Prabhupada just took his umbrella and leave and went. He tried. He was printing magazines. He would go Sankirtan every day. Prabhupada would go under the hot sun to get 10 rupees. He'll come back and he will pay this 10 rupees to print more. So one day, a man met him in the street. He said, Maharaj, why are you suffering just for 10 rupees for a day? He said, go to my office every day. I'll give you 5 rupees. So Maharaj will suffer for the whole day. And by evening, he'll go to the Prabhu's house. The Prabhu will give him 5 rupees. And that 5 rupees he'll use for transportation from Delhi to his home, Jhansi. He was doing like this. And another man met him. He said, magazine is like newspaper. People just read it and throw it in the dustbin. Why don't you print book? And Prabhupada remembered his guru's instruction. He said, print book. So Prabhupada started printing books. But he was trying to make a league of devotees in India. It was impossible for him because his god brothers become envious. This envy is always there in this material world. We always envy each other. When we see somebody want to progress, we want to put you down. So Prabhupada decided to leave for America. Prabhupada went to America. He was alone. He was praying to Krishna. You brought me here. Why do you brought me here? These people, they don't know about Krishna. I live in Vrindavan. I came here. Why you bring me here? But he said, I know you bring me here for a purpose. If you want me to dance, let me dance. And Prabhupada started Harinam alone in Tompkins Square. At Sahadev, you know there? Sahadev Prabhu.
No.
Have you gone there?
No.
Try, please, try. Try to go there and see where Prabhupada started Harinam. So he started Harinam and devotees start coming. Today, ISKCON is worldwide because of one person. We can also do. We are doing it in Ghana. We are doing it in Nigeria. All over Africa, we are doing it. But today, we become complacent. Now we think we have families to take care of. We have big positions. But these things are vanity. Family will one day leave you. Your wife, your children, you are catering for just for a while. Prabhupada says here, passing time. It's just for a while we're together. As time goes on, we all separate. But when we are living now, what is your legacy? Today we are following Bhakti Tita's family legacy. And what did he say? If you love me, follow my principles. Bhakti Swami was a big Sankirtan devotee in the whole world, in America, in Russia, everywhere. Why don't we follow his legacy? We should. They said a disciple should resemble his guru, not by physical, by facial, by his activities. When I was in Vrindavan, when I danced Kirtan, they say, whose guru are you? I say, Bhakti Swami. They say, no wonder. No wonder. When you dance Kirtan in Vrindavan, if I'm a black man, they'll ask you, who is your guru? Once you say Bhakti Swami, everyone knows him worldwide because of his dancing. Yes. We should behave like our guru. We should follow his footsteps. Then our preaching will be successful, both in Africa and worldwide. I see the devotees in America, they are doing wonderful things in helping the devotees in Africa by forming this Bhakti Swami group, and they are subscribing, they are submitting monies. It's very great to help devotees. Sometimes devotees are in trouble, devotees are sick, devotees have other activities to do, so they need financial help. It's good. But we should not forget, Prabhupada gave 4 principles in ISKCON. He said, books are the basis. Books are the basis. Our learning we are doing today is from the Prabhupada books. All the temples built in the world, they are built from book distribution. Most temples in America, even in India, I was in India last time, one Prabhu was giving class. He was sent to, Prabhupada sent him to Japan. So he was in Japan, they were doing big Sankirtan, they were having money. The money they were having, they were in coins. So they put the money, these monies in bags. They full the coins in bags. They don't have anything to do with them. So the Prabhupada asked them, we want to build ISKCON temple in Vrindavan. We want funds. The Prabhu just start bringing all the coins from Japan to India, and they change them. And those are the monies they start to build the temple of Radha Krishna temple, Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. It's from preaching, from book distribution. All of you know, Sahadev, your days, when you are dancing, you are Michael Jackson of Ghana. When we are preaching, we distributing books. You know how the country was peaceful and we are making devotees. Today, Sahadev, don't come. If you come to Ghana, you'll be afraid. Everything is dead. Nobody goes out. No Harinam. We have Kavichanda Maharaj sent 2 cars, they are there. Nobody's going. No Sankirtan, no Harinam. You see the situation, not only Ghana, other countries. We should wake up. It's a wake-up call. Whatever is going on in Africa, in India, we can do it in Africa. We are even more stronger. We are stronger. We can do it. If only we are determined. Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva, her stepmother insulted her. Get out, unless you are born from my womb before you become a king. Dhruva Maharaj went to his mother, and the mother said, it's true. The father liked her more than me. So it's my karma. But he said, you can worship Lord Hari. Don't. Dhruva Maharaj said, where is Hari? He said, I hear people are going to the forest to worship the Lord, and they get wonderful things. Not knowing Dhruva Maharaj have Kshatriya blood, very determined. He left in the night, middle of the night. He was going, and all type of living entities were threatening him. He was not afraid. Narada Muni knows the ability of his disciple, so Narada Muni approached him. He used his conch shell to purify his head, and he asked him, my dear son, where are you going? And Dhruva Maharaj said, I want a kingdom that is more greater than my father's kingdom, or even more greater than Lord Brahma's kingdom. He said, even Lord Brahma cannot make this attempt. You are a small child. Small children play football. They play games at home. Go and play football. Wait when you are old. When you are very old, then you can make attempts to approach Lord Vishnu. It's not possible. Go home. And Dhruva Maharaj said, my dear sir, thank you very much, sir. You are a learned person, but you cannot convince me because I have Kshatriya blood. And Kshatriyas are very determined. That are the qualities of Kshatriyas. Determination, power, resourcefulness. These are the qualities of Kshatriyas. Courage in battle. It is described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 43. The qualities of Kshatriyas, they are described. So he said, please, if you like me, give me an advice. Where can I go and have something greater than my father's kingdom? Please initiate me. Then Nada Muni saw the determination of this small boy. He said, I've tested you, you passed your exams. Now, go to a place called Mahavan Forest. You see there is a lake. In this lake, take bath every day, thrice a day. And you can picture the form of the Lord in your heart and offer him everything you have, like fruits, flowers, and everything. You meditate. And Dhruva Maharaj went there. For 6 months, Dhruva Maharaj was doing the same act. Dhruva Maharaj, the first month, Dhruva Maharaj was eating only fruits. For 6 months, for 1 month. The next month, Dhruva Maharaj was eating dry grass. For the 3rd month, Dhruva Maharaj was living on air. Was taking water. Then for the 4th month, Dhruva Maharaj was living on air. For the 5th month, Dhruva Maharaj stopped breathing and he was standing on one toe. And he became heavier than the universe. The universe nearly collapsed. So the demigods were perturbed. So they said, oh, somebody great is performing austerities. So they went. Lord Brahma came to Dhruva Maharaj. Lord Vishnu came. Said, Dhruva Maharaj, what do you want with all these austerities you're performing? He said, oh, my Lord, Krishna, just by seeing you, I'm satisfied. I don't want anything material again. He said, my thought was like a broken glass, pieces of glass. I was thinking of material things, but now, just by seeing you, I don't have any material desire anymore, because these material desires will entangle me in the material world. But the Lord said, no, my dear son, you have performed great austerities that no other person on earth have ever done. 5 years old boy, you stand on one toe, you eat only for 1 month, you only eat fruits. For these austerities, I must reward you. He said, I will give you a planet that exists forever called the pole star, Dhruvaloka. He said you can be there and you become king for 36,000 years and you'll be very strong always. You have all the qualities. You never grow old. So Dhruva Maharaj was there. But before Dhruva Maharaj was going, he asked the Yamaduta, the Vishnudutas who came for him. He said, where is my mother? He's my first guru. He advised me to go to the forest. Where is he? They said, see at the front. Your mother is already on the plane going. So Dhruva Maharaj, before he entered the plane, death came. And Dhruva Maharaj stepped on death and entered the plane. So these are the things, if we do this, all of us can also step on death and go back home, back to Godhead. I was recently in Vrindavan before Kandaba Karana Maharaj passed away. I was in the Gosala alone. I just said, Maharaj used to be with disciples. But that day, Maharaj was alone. He just approached me. I was looking at him, he was looking at me. We don't talk anything. So I was afraid. I just feel obeisances. He didn't say anything, not knowing it's his last day in this planet. It's just a week before he passed away. So I said, maybe he has come to give me some blessings by just meeting him on the way. So these are activities great devotees do on earth. They came to give pleasure to devotees, to annihilate his demons, and to re-establish religious principles. The Lord comes in every millennium. So we should follow their footsteps and become happy on earth. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So any comment or question or comment or correction?
Thank you so much for speaking, His Grace, Pavitra Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Well, that was a very powerful, fully loaded class you just gave. And dear devotees, if anyone has a question or comment, you may do so by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question. So, Kavikanapur Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very happy
Hare
to see
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna, Kavikanapur.
All glories to Pavitra, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
After many, many years. You remember our
Yes.
last time in Apapa?
Yes.
That was the last time I saw Pavitra, Prabhu. I'm very happy to see you on
Thank
video
you, Prabhu.
today.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And I'm very, very encouraged with your enthusiastic preaching you are giving us to go and preach. You know, it's very, very contagious. We can feel it from you. And I'm very happy also that now you are becoming a renunciant. So you are showing us how to become a pure devotee, you know. So we'll follow your footsteps. So probably one of my question is, when you came back and you see this condition we are in,
Yes.
and somehow or the other, you see someone courage to be going out to preach.
Yes.
So what hope do you think we have? Because one thing is to preach, another thing is to continue preaching. And I don't mean to discourage you. I'm very sure if you don't have your return ticket to India, after a few months, maybe the energy also will become drained. So what is your plan for future to continue getting this energy you are having now? So that you can continue to inspire us the way you are inspiring us here today. That is my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kavikanapura. Kavikanapura is one of the great devotees of, you know, Kavichandra Swami is our co-GBC in Africa, and he made 4 shining gems in Africa. One of them is Kavikanapura. The second is Kushadas. The third one is Ganachakshu. And the fourth one is Tiruvan Prabhu. These are 4 gems that Kavichandra Maharaj has shined in the African continent to help carry out the preaching. So Prabhu, thank you very much for your question. You see, how I can answer your question is, I will say, the Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva Dharma Parikchaya, Mam Ekam Sana Praja, Aham Twam Sabhabibiro, Muksai Shami Masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. First, one have to be surrendered to the instructions of the Guru. I can tell you a story. Once in the year 2004, that was the last visit of Bhaktisiddhanta Swami in Africa. And we hosted him in Togo by His Grace Varaha Acharya, hosted him in Togo. And devotees came from Ghana, from Ivory Coast, from Togo, from Benin, from Nigeria, and worldwide. So we are there, we did Harinam, we did seminars and everything. So almost like the last day where Maharaj was staying, where they hosted him. The room was very, very hot, and he was sweating profusely. So among all the great, great devotees, I was surprised. Guru said, call Pavitra. Call Pavitra. So they went to call me. I know, they said, Bhaktisiddhanta Swami is calling you in his ashram. So I went. And Maharaj said, oh, Pavitra, you see where I'm staying? It's very hot. So please. So I was fanning him. He said, he gave me a book to read for him. And that is Krishna book, the stories, the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So I was reading. They asked me, Pavitra, what is your service? Because you know me from olden days in Mafoluku, when I used to distribute books, we used to do competitions, and I used to win sometimes. So he asked me, what is your service? I said, Maharaj, I'm just doing book distribution. He said to me, Pavitra, anytime and anywhere, distribute books. He said to me, that's the last, he said, anytime and anywhere, distribute books. So these things are ringing in my ear every day, even after Prashad, every day. I can't sleep. This thing is ringing on my heart, in my ear. If I'm sleeping in the night, I'll hear Guru say, Pavitra, have you gone out to distribute books? So this thing has been, maybe till I die, this thing is ringing on my ear. That's why I continue still today. This thing rings on my ear every day, at any time. So this is my example that I'm following, trying to follow the order of my Guru. So all of you, maybe your gurus are giving you some different services, but the service the Guru has given you, put it in mind every day and try to execute it. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's very encouraging.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pavitra Prabhu, for the wonderful answer. Salika, you had a question? Does anyone have a question? Nadine, please unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay, Dandava, thank you very much for the lecture. Prabhu, I joined very late, but I heard you eulogizing Sahadev Prabhu in his days. But you made mention that nowadays we have two castes, but nobody is ready to go to Harina Sankirtan. Yeah. So my question is, what was the secret then? And what do you think is the cause? That is the reason why nobody is ready to go to Sankirtan. So I would like you to give us the techniques whereby then what was the secret? And now what do you think is the cause? That is where even we as the youth, we are not ready, let alone the sinners. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. You always come for program in the temple. You know that Prabhupada said, one of his statements is, say you can't cheat old dogs, new tricks. You can't cheat old dogs, new tricks. It's difficult. Most of the devotees in the temple, they are old devotees. So the olden days, what they are doing now, the new ones, they follow the footsteps of the old devotees. Because the old devotees are not going out, they too, they don't go out. They said, whatever great men do, common men follow. And whatever example they follow, they set, the whole world pursue. So if we, the seniors, we start going, or we go them, they'll be encouraged to go. But if we're not going, we relax. They too relax. They'll say, see, my senior is not going. Why should I go? And they don't even have the techniques. Most of the senior devotees, they know the techniques, but they don't want to go. All of us, we know the techniques, how to approach somebody, how to distribute books, but we are not going. So they also follow suit. Yeah. When Bhaktisiddhanta Swami come before in Africa, all of you know, we go to the beach, we go on Harinam in the street, we do everything with him because he's the leader, he leads us and we follow him. But once we have leaders that are not following, setting the example, those who are coming behind, they cannot follow. And even you see in the temple, there are hierarchies. We have temple president, temple commander. If they are not inclined to take the youths, the young ones will not go. So it depends on the management. If the management, they want these things to go on, they can arrange. The cars are there. You just fuel the car, put books and other paraphernalia. People can go out and distribute them and come back. And the temple will be lively. And when these things are going on, there is less expenses, there's less quarrel in the temple, and the devotees are very energized. But once these things are not going on, the devotees will be sleeping all day, and when they wake up, they start quarreling among each other, they start seeing others' faults. When we are dancing on Harinam before, ask Tita Prema, ask Sahadev, we don't quarrel. Because when you're in full kirtan, you don't think of no other body's fault. You are just in the kirtan. When you are taking prasadam, we take prasadam together. We are so happy. But today, if you come to this temple, people take prasadam in their house, in their rooms. They don't take prasadam in the prasadam lobby. We're not divided. This is going on, not only in Africa, all over the world. But Tita Swami said 5 things that disturb ISKCON or the whole world. We want to forget community for commodities. Before we eat together, we do everything together. But today, everybody have his house, have his gadgets, have his phone. Nobody talk to each other. Nobody asks each other question. Everybody have his own commodities. We want to forget knowledge for data. Before we read, but now we just text. We just Google. Everything come there. You don't use your brain again. We want to forget wisdom for propaganda. We want to forget love for lust. I want to use religion. We want to use politics for religion. These are the things that destroyed temples and everywhere in the world, everything. If we follow the Bhakti Swami principles, everyone will be happy. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Anadinidana, for the question you asked, and your answer to that, Pavitra Prabhu, is also very wonderful. Does anyone else have a question or comment? Harichakra Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pavitra Prabhu, for your class. My question is, don't you think the comparison you are making, you are comparing 2 different scenarios and try to, how do I even put it? It's like you take a dog and you try to compare the dog to an elephant. Because you are talking about previously how everybody was energized to go to Sankirtan, and we are all, when those days, all of us live in the temple. We were living in the temple was taking care of us, everything was, so we had to go do Sankirtan to also make sure the temple keeps going. Now, take media, for instance. How many people live in the temple? At a certain point in time, I know that people were asked that if you are a Grihasta, you cannot even live in the temple. But those days when we were there, it didn't matter whether you were a Grihasta or you were a Brahmachari, whatever state you were allowed to live in the temple. So you were dedicated to do everything in the temple. And one of the greatest mission was to just pick up your tools and go on Harinam or go on Sankirtan. But now, if authorities come up and say that if you are a Grihasta, you cannot live in the temple, go and live in your house. And meanwhile, living in your house is not the authorities that are paying your rent. It's not the authorities that are feeding you. So how do you expect that person to pick up books and go on Sankirtan or go on Harinam, then only to come back and be ejected in the house, from the house? So I'm thinking that you are comparing two different scenarios, which personally I think is not comparable. It's completely different scenarios that you are trying to put together. What do you think?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. Hari Chakra, you are my senior mentor. Hari Chakra was one of the preachers in Ghana who made many devotees in Kumasi. We used to go on Harinam, we stay in Hari Chakra house. When you stay in Hari Chakra house, there is no hunger. You eat to your belly will almost burst. So Hari Chakra is like our international chairman. He has been doing great preaching. And Hari Chakra, I can see, let me say in Ghana, Grihastas is one of the most successful Grihastas whose children are all good devotees. So thank you for this quality, Prabhu. So what I'm saying now is that now currently I'm staying in Ghana and there are more than 10 or 15 bhaktas in the temple currently. Before Aksahadi, we are few in the temple, 3 brahmacharis. But now we have a lot of them in the temple. They are not doing anything for the whole day. Nothing. Let me say, maybe frankly, they'll be sleeping, or in the evening they help in cooking, and in the evening they do kirtan. But they are not doing anything. I tried to take them to Harinam, but the president gave me laws that the van is not good, they don't have driver, reasons. So I tried to carry some of them on Sankirtan. They went 1 or 2 days, they stopped going. So that's why I'm saying you cannot teach old dogs new trick. You cannot teach this the old ones who are almost they don't want to go. You cannot force them. And the situation now, yes, as we are saying, I compare Grihastas, they are independent. They stay at home, they pay their rent, they feed their parents, it's good. But some who are inclined to preach, they can sometimes help. It's not by force. They can help if they want. They can go to the devotees once a while, just to energize them, just to give them strength, and just to show example by their lifestyle that they are Grihastas, but still they are devotees. They are trying to propagate the holy name. They are trying to assist the temple, because they said we have 4 ashrams: the Brahmachari ashram, the Grihastha ashram, the Vanaprastha ashram, and the Sannyas ashram. And these 3 ashrams, Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, are being supported by the Grihasthas. The Grihasthas are supposed to feed the Brahmacharis, supposed to feed the Vanaprastha, supposed to feed the Sannyasis. So they can also help. If some of them are giving contributions, okay. But sometimes on Harinam, they can follow if they want, if they desire to purify themselves. It's not compulsory. But those staying in the temple, the brahmacharis or the bhaktas, we should train them as we were trained before. I've tried, I'm trying now. I only need some of your blessings so that I can continue. But I'm trying to do that. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Maybe that would answer your question, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I don't know if Hare Chakra has something else to say. Otherwise, we'll go to Kavikana Prabhu. Kavikana, put me on mute.
Hare Chakra Prabhu was saying. I was just trying to say that I think the Grihastha preaching depends on the encouragement from the temple management or leader. Because like I remember Kutaya Prabhu was talking about when we were doing GBC college, it was talking about how in the future, the preaching movement will be continued by the Grihastha. And that is why Prabhupada was always emphasizing as Grihastha making their house temple. Because if we borrow example from the Jehovah's Witness people, and that is, I'm very sure that is how we are going to move the movement forward in the future, because when you see, no matter who you are in Jehovah's Witness, they give one day in a week where they go out for Sankirtan. And that is the only way. And as you are joining the organization, they train you to think like this, to behave like this. So until we start putting this Sankirtan movement as the center of all our activities, you know, especially the managers, then the devotees who are coming newly, the bhaktas, they will not be taking it very serious, just like PAVITRA PRABHU is saying. So the temple leader himself has to take this preaching movement very serious and try to encourage the Grihastas, because the Grihastas, they are the ones who are well placed in the society. Some of them are working in the office, and some of them are working in the different offices, and some of them are mixing with different government ministry and everything. So they are the ones who can go far and even give this Srila Prabhupada's book to the high class in society. So until the leaders start encouraging this Sankirtan movement, then, you know, just like PAVITRA PRABHU is saying, the new people also will not take interest. That's what I'm thinking. I thought, let me just contribute that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thank you. I was in Vrindavan. I was in Mayapur. I spent almost like 5 years in Vrindavan. Every morning, the first thing they announce is Sankirtan reports. Every morning, the first thing they announce is Sankirtan reports. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spread the rays of benediction moon. It's the life of all transcendental knowledge. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the of transcendental bliss, and it's able to fully taste the nectar for which are always anxious. This is the medicine. This is the prime benediction for this age, Harinam Sankirtan. We should take it very serious. If you want to please, just 2 days ago, we observed the Vyasa Puja of Jayapataka Swami. Jayapataka Swami, in his condition, he is still distributing books. Kavichanda Swami, he is still distributing books. All the great Mahajans, they are still distributing books. We should do that. If you don't do it for a day, for 1 day, you don't distribute one book. 1 week, you don't distribute one book. 1 month, you don't distribute one book. 1 year, you don't distribute one book. You are very wicked. See, 1 day, for the whole day, you don't distribute one book to anybody. For a whole week, you didn't distribute book to anybody. For a whole month, you didn't distribute book to anybody. For a whole year, you didn't distribute book to anybody. It's wickedness. Means you have the knowledge, you are keeping it to yourself. You have the knowledge, but you keep it to yourself. When you have light and you tie it with cloth, it will not shine. But when you remove the cloth, light shine. If we spread this movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we'll save the whole world, we'll save ourselves. This is the reason why Prabhupada sacrificed his life.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, His Grace, PAVITRA PRABHU. It's been a very beautiful encounter. We all are human beings, and we know as human beings we have to fall sick at some point.
Yes.
And generally, when we are sick, we have to take medication. And the medication, oftentimes, if it's very effective, has to be bitter or sour or pungent. And those so-called bitter medications are the very process by which we're going to be healed or cured from our ailment. So today, we've been given a very powerful bitter medication. No matter how one takes it, as to how it was, the medicine was delivered or whatever, that is secondary. The most important thing is that the medication has been given to us, and we all should try to take the medication, because that is the very means by which our material disease can be healed. So we can't thank you enough for giving us this dose of medicine today. And on this note, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we chant Hare Krishna to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Salika Prabhu. Jai.
Pavitra
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Hare.
Panchakalpataruyasya Srivasengagata
Pasamyai
Pavadeyo
Vachakatitana
Vaishnavyo
Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
Jai. All glories to His Grace, Pavitra